Ask a pool player about dogging the 9-ball in the finals of some riff-raff tournament in Arkansas in 1983, and they'll be able to tell you all the details. They'll be able to tell you what the girl across the bar was drinking that day. They'll be able to tell you what they were wearing, the color of the lights, what they ate that day, what it felt like to miss that ball. Every single little detail surrounding that day and that moment. Ask them about winning a tournament and running 5 racks in the finals against Jason Shaw in the U.S. Open, and they'll vaguely remember it at all. They'll be lucky to tell you anything about it. It'll all be some foggy issue stuck somewhere in the back of their mind, and that's because they were working on their subconscious mind, and they weren't conscious of every single little detail going on that day. Part of what we know as your brain is your conscious mind, and the other part is your subconscious mind. Right? Now don't get all freaky on me. Well, we're not going to get all psychoanalytical about this and in deep on the brain and your chemistry and all this shit. But I know for a fact that you as a pool player could greatly improve your pool game just by knowing a little bit about how your brain works. And nobody talks about this. Nobody on the internet that I know of even comes close to this. So here's the video that I'm going to produce, just letting you in a little bit about what is now going on in your brain that's hurting your pool game a lot. I believe, whether the public realizes it or not, that this is going to be the most valuable pool instruction video on the internet ever created. That's what I believe this video is going to be, and I haven't even started to make it yet. The first thing you should know is your subconscious doesn't judge, it doesn't weigh, it doesn't balance, it doesn't do anything except what you program it to do. It's like a computer, you know? You feed it information and it acts in accordance to what you feed it. Right? That's it. You just stick it in there and it's like a big filing cabinet. So it's there 24/7. Automatically doing whatever the hell you programmed it to do. I have an idea. It's a beautiful fall day in Tennessee. We say we go for a ride. Now, let's just go for a ride. And don't worry, we're going to get on to this video, and there's a lesson with the graphics and everything in here. Just hold your horses. It's very, very important for you to know this. And I bet you $1,000 Skylar Woodward knows all about this. Yeah, we're going to go for a ride. And I'm going to tell you a little story about you. It's true. And there's no doubt you're sitting there going, what the hell? You don't even know me, dude. How the hell are you going to tell me a story about me? It's true, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you a little story about you. Let's go. When you was just a little bitty baby boy, and you were crawling around on that shag carpet, and your knees got all scuffed up and sore, and you said, F word, this S word, I'm going to get on up, and I'm going to walk on my feet like these other people do. So yeah, you grabbed a hold of that coffee table, you got up on that beat and you say, I'm a gonna walk. I'm a gonna walk like a champion. So you let go of that coffee table and you took one big gigantic step, and by the time that step hit the shag carpet, you fell right down there on your powdered behind. Well now, ain't that something? Yep, there you was, just sitting there in all confused state. But what you didn't know was Mom was watching from the kitchen. Yep, Mom was always watching. And Mom came running out screaming and laughing and getting all excited and looking at you like you was stupid. Well, you ain't stupid. You gonna figure this S word out. You are bound and determined. So you grabbed the whole of that coffee table again. You got up on your feet again. You let go of that coffee table. You took a step again, and you fell right there on your powdered butt again. Next thing I remember is divorced uncles started coming over. Dad started coming home from work. Older sister started coming home from school. And all of a sudden, they all sitting on the shag carpet with you in a big old circle. A big old circle. It was Uncle Fred who picked you up, turned you around, sent you on your way to your mama, but you only took 1 or 2 steps and damn, you lost your balance and fell on your butt again, and you kept on falling on your butt. And to make a long story short, that kept happening over and over again, but with each new step further, people were getting happier and happier. And they were applauding and they were laughing and they were pouring cocktails and everybody was having a good old time. So you figured out, hey, I must be doing something right with this walking stuff. So you kept on trying, you kept on. At one point, you twisted your ankle. Yeah, you twisted your ankle and you just laid on the floor and cried. But then your mom came over and she rubbed your ankle and she made it all better. So it was Aunt Betty, I believe it. Yep, it was Aunt Betty who picked you up when you got all better, turned you around, and there was your mom straight ahead with her arms wide open, just ready for you to run into her arms. And that's exactly what you did. You took one step after the other, after the other, after the other. And at the end, you lost your balance and just kind of fell into her arms. But she caught you and picked you up. And the funny thing about all that is Mom was crying tears of joy. The room exploded into celebration and everybody was happy. And one thing led to another, and right around 11 o'clock, both Uncle John and Uncle Fred, they had one too many cocktails and they got in a big argument. So everybody went home. And you were all worn out anyway and sound asleep. But you did it. You conquered it. You were on your way. Tomorrow was another day to practice your walking. And you just kept getting better and better at it. Now, before we end this little drive, I do want to mention something rather sad and quite depressing. For some people, they don't have that happy family cheering them on every time they take another step. There's no proud mama, there's no dad, there's no really anything. So when we tried and we fell on our dirty ass diaper, we quit. We failed. We quit. One day we decided to try again, and we fell, and we banged into walls, and we twisted our ankles. And for years and years we struggled to learn how to do it. We were on our own, teaching ourselves. And eventually we got it. We figured it out. But it was hard. It was too hard. It took too long. So what happened was you kept working on it. You kept practicing it day after day. And with each new day, you stored more and more of this information on how to do it, how to keep your balance, how to take each step, and and what to do. You put it all into your subconscious mind. And now today you can get up and you still practice it today. You just don't realize it. You can get up and walk anywhere you want. No problems at all. Just go walk wherever you want. But imagine your life today if you didn't have a subconscious and you had to try just as hard as you had to try when you were first learning how to walk, with each new step and what you have to do and how you have to keep your balance. And if you had to think about this with every new step that you take, but you don't, because you have a subconscious and we can automatically do it now. So this is where you have to get to in the world of pool. You don't just lose your balance and miss a shot and just keep missing shot. You have to keep on getting back up and figuring out why you missed and where you missed and what you were thinking, and you have to reanalyze everything just like that child had to do when it was learning how to walk. A legitimate question for you is to say, so all these pros are just working on their subconscious mind and they automatically know how to do. They automatically know how to do a lot of things, but you still have to think in the pool world. So you have to use both your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And this is what you're not doing, and this is why you're struggling with pool. You see, every pool layout is different, right? We have different problems and different ways to solve those problems. So that's your conscious mind working right there. And now you have to draw from your subconscious what are the solutions that work. You know how to do this, you can do this, you've done it a million times before. You just have to pull out from your subconscious mind how to walk. So the big mistake that players are making is they're not practicing right. They'll throw all 9 balls out on the table and then they'll get bad shape on their first shot, and now they're shooting at the 2, and instead of going back to the 1 ball and figuring out the right way to shoot that 1 ball to get the right shape on the 2, they'll keep going. And when they shoot the 2, they'll just overcompensate and put too much English on it, or hit the ball too hard to try to get right on the 3. And they keep going like this, and they get further out of line on the 3, but it's okay, we can get back on line on the 4 if we just do this and this. So they're working around their mistakes instead of correcting those mistakes and putting that information on how to do it right into their subconscious mind. So don't just keep ignoring it because it's never going to get put into your subconscious if you do that. Don't ignore it. If you get bad shape on the 2 ball, set the 1 back up and keep on figuring it out and how to achieve what you're trying to achieve. You're a baby that's taken 1 step and falling on their ass and then getting back up and saying, okay, that's good enough. 1 step, fall on your ass again, and not progressing. The big difference with where you're at on your pool game is you don't have that family cheering you on and inspiring you and telling you when you're doing it right. So you have to figure out when you're doing it right. And this is what you need to practice. Once you figure out how to make that shot and get the right position on the next ball, you have to keep practicing that. And it takes a while to figure out how to do it right, because you don't have a family cheering you on and telling you when you're doing it right. There's nobody out there praising you and telling you how much they love you, and there's no big smiling faces every time you do things right. So that's the part you have to figure out, and here's how to do it. Put the cue ball in the center of the table. Put the 9 ball on the place where it was racked. Put the 1 ball up in the top right hand corner, somewhere up there. And I'll put one of the other 7 balls in the lower left corner pocket. Now, this video assumes that you're breaking from the left-hand side of the table. It also assumes that you know how to break. This is what you want on the break. This is where you want the cue ball, the 9 ball, one of the object balls, and the 1 ball. If you can't do these things with your break, then you really need to practice your break. If you need practice on your break, don't just skip this video and move back to the breaks. Practice this and your break at the same time. Now, there's 6 other object balls, so let's take those 6 balls and just throw them out anywhere randomly on the table. Don't even look at them, just kind of just blindly throw them out there on the table. Don't disrupt the 9 ball or the 1 ball, but just, don't look at them, throw them out there, and let's go from there. And I'm going to have to give you an example here, so let's say my balls wind up like this. So let's go ahead and proceed to shoot the 1 and get on the 2. And bear in mind as you're going through this 2 ball does not pass the 3 ball to shoot it in the bottom right hand corner. So the only legitimate pocket we have for this 2 ball is the right hand side pocket. No, no, that's not going to work. And I can tell you right at this point that it's going to start getting real old real quick to shoot this 1 ball, to walk around, pull the 1 ball out of the pocket and set it back up, walk back around the table and shoot this shot over and over again. And most likely you're not going to do it, and I don't blame you. So we're going to take the strike balls and we're going to make a little stockpile of strike balls right here. And we're going to use that in place of the 1 ball. So every time you make the 1 and miss the position on the 2, you can just roll up one of these strike balls and shoot that one. No. That's not going to work. Oh, for heaven's sake. Hey, what do you say we stop here for a second and let's think about this, okay? Let's put our mind to work. Sound like a good idea? Just for a second. This is only going to take a second. Where exactly do you want to be on the 3 ball? Exactly. Don't tell me around here. Tell me exactly where you want to be on the 3 ball. Now, if you come up with a solid answer and say, well, I want to be right here on the 3 ball, I'm going to ask you why you want to be right there on the 3 ball. And if you say, well, I want to use that right-hand side route to get right on the 4 ball so I can just roll up on the 4 ball a little bit and be perfect on the 6 ball in order to get right on the 7 and stay on the right-hand side of that table so I can just shoot the 7 and roll up for the right angle and be on the left side of the 8 ball so I can just make the 8 ball and roll right up into position for the 9. So I can make the 9, so I can suck my opponent's heart out and make him cry. Now I'm going to say, cool. And yep, it really does happen that quickly. So it's determined you want to be right here on the 3 ball. And now we're going to take a real good look at the 2 ball and try to figure out exactly, pinpoint, not around, pinpoint where you want to be on the 2 ball in order to get right there on the 3 ball. Pinpoint the position you want to be on this 2 ball. So you think about it for a minute and decide that this is exactly where you'd like to be on that 2 ball, because that'll let you just kind of stun the 2 and roll down and get absolutely perfect on the 3. And that's great. Let's take that exact position. Now you have a destination which you absolutely need to play high-level pool. And let's use that to create the 2 ball line. We'll call this the 2 ball line. As long as you're on that line, you're fine to stun that 2 ball down in order to get perfect on the 3, and you know the rest of the plan. So let's just narrow that down a little bit. We don't want to be too far away from the 2 ball. So let's take this hash mark and call it the minimum distance you want to be from the 2 ball, and we'll take this hash mark and call it the maximum distance you want to be from the 2 ball. When you're still very much in control of the game, it's the same shot, it's just a little more distance. So it's determined. This is your margin of error. You want to be on this line anywhere in between these 2 points. And with that, let's get back to work on shooting this one ball and getting right on the two. No, 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 don't think so. Hey, let's do something different here and put some top on this ball, and then from there we'll see how the cue ball reacts and where it goes, and then we'll use some left and right English with the top to see what happens. No, but that's interesting. No. Now's the time to take all that information that you gathered by using top and left and right, and where the position of that cue ball ended up after those shots, and really, really put your brain to it and think. Now determine the exact speed you want to shoot this and the exact amount of English you want to put on it. All right, here's the most important thing. Don't skip this part. Shoot that shot and do it right 10 times in a row. If you screw it up once, start over and do it 10 times in a row. And just keep doing it until you can do it 10 times in a row. And I promise you will never, ever forget what to do on this shot. And it comes up a lot. And now it's finally time to move on to the two ball. Nope. See, the problem is your subconscious doesn't know that this is wrong until you explain it to your subconscious. There's no judgment here on your shot. So if you just put this back to where you wanted it to be and go ahead and shot the three and moved on with the game, your subconscious assumes, well, you did what you wanted to do. So that's what it's going to do next time you're faced with this. And this is what so many players do, and this is why so many players never progress. So they just keep on making the same mistake over and over and over. So if you treat this like it doesn't matter, then that's what that's what you're storing in your subconscious, that it doesn't matter, but it does matter. No, you put top on that ball, and all you have to do is stun it down lightly to get the right position on the three. And it's better to come up a little bit short here than go long. If you go too long on this three ball, you're going to find yourself in serious trouble. All right, great, perfect. Now you know the drill. We're going to do it 10 times in a row. And drill's a good word here. You're actually making your own custom drill out of these shots. And do this on any shot you get out of the line on. You have to do this, and I promise you will progress very quickly. You want to put it together and take it from the top? Let's do it. The reality of it is there's not going to be anyone there applauding at 4 a.m. while you beat some guy out of whatever you're beating him out of. It's going to be you and him and the bartender will be somewhere in the back room cleaning up. So you have to be the one applauding in your head. And yeah, you have to hear it. You have to associate tremendous pleasure with winning and with doing it right. And hey, you always got me, and I see it as my job to be there applauding for you.